But my GoPro is dead, so I gotta use my phone, and my phone is full. Doesn't do time warps. How's everyone doing today? It is Clay here with Just Add Water, and today I am going to be showing you guys how to clean out a pondless waterfall. As you can tell, it is very much well into the fall season. There's lots of leaves. They have the system off at the moment. I would do the same process with the system on as I would with it off. The first step would just be unplugging the pump. But after that, I'm going to go through and I'm going to clean out all these leaves, and I'll make sure I get all the stuff around the edges of the system picked up too. That way it doesn't just blow right back in and within the next hour or so and make it look like I've done nothing. I'm trying to make this look good for the winter. You don't want to be looking at a pile of gross leaves covered in snow. You want to look at your pretty rocks with a little bit of snow around them. It just looks a lot nicer. Now that I've got the bulk material of the debris and leaves out of the system, now I'm able to come back through, and I will be using my power washer to blow out the smaller debris that's left in there. You can use a leaf blower if you want. I'm going to use the power washer because I already plan on power washing the rocks, because as you can see, we've got a little bit of green, which isn't that bad, but during the winter when there's not going to be any water running over creating more green, you might as well just clean them up, make them look good. So that's what I'll be doing next. And while I do that, I'm also going to be getting all this stuff outside the system and blowing it away. The main reason why I picked up the bulk stuff by hand, and because I'm going to be able to take this off site and there's no chance it'll blow back into the system. I'd be here all day if I was blowing away all the leaves and collecting them. So I'm just going to get them up and away so that it won't come back. Now is when you like add the cool like techno montage music to make it seem like putting a power washer together is actually something cool. So here we go. Other than just making the system look good for the shutdown and for all winter, another reason that we power wash and pick up debris and leaves and all that is because it's going to make the clean out in the spring 100 times easier. If you don't get rid of this organic matter now, it's going to sit there over winter. It's going to get snowed on, it's going to get rained on in the late fall / early spring, and it's going to turn into a gross sludge that will then get into your basin. It can clog up the pump, it can clog up the basin itself, and I mean that's why it's crucial to get the spring clean out. But by getting rid of the bulk of the debris now, it'll make it so it's much easier in the spring. So this is 100 times nicer to look at than what it looked like before, but then also B, it's gonna help with the health of your system in the long run to get this all cleaned up and ready to go. All right, now that I have the system cleaned up itself, it's all clean, no leaves, debris, all that out of there. Now I'm going to focus on the pump. So the pump is located in the basin in this pump vault here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect it from the plumbing line. I'm going to pull it up. I'll put it in a bucket for it to be stored over the winter in a frost-free location. All right, so while I'm getting this vault exposed, I'm making sure that no rocks or debris are going to get down into the vault, just because you don't want the pump sucking that up next year. If you do the clean out, most of that stuff will get removed, but just to be safe, yeah, you just don't want anything down there by the pumps. It'll just help prolong the life of said pump. All right, so here's what we're looking like. This right here is your check valve. Basically works like a heart valve. It allows water to flow up and to the top to come out up there. But when it's shut down like this, the plumbing line is going to hold water. And so as soon as you take this off, water will come gushing out. Be careful of that, especially if you're in the later part of this year. It can get kind of cold. Simple righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. That's exactly what you want to see. Now that I know the plumbing line is completely drained, I can sleep well at night knowing that the plumbing line is not going to blow up during the winter with the freeze thaw, because if there's no water in there to freeze, there's nothing to freeze the pipe. All right, so here's what your pump is going to look like. Just be careful because this does hold water, so boom, just another opportunity to get wet when you don't want to get wet there. So these newer pumps are asynchronous pumps. Look it up. Essentially with these pumps, you can store them dry over the winter. If you want to store them wet in a 5-gallon bucket, that's fine. You're not going to hurt it. But yeah, goes the same as magnetic driven pumps. Same thing. They can be stored dry, but again, just to be safe, if you want to store them wet, not a problem. You're not going to hurt the pump. Some of the older pumps are going to have to be stored wet though, just to keep the mechanical seals wet and prolong the life of the pump. If you're unsure, look it up. Call us, call your local pond guy, whatever. They'll let you know. But yeah, with this one, they put it in the bucket. We've got a nice heated greenhouse here. Throw it in there, and Bob's your uncle. Now, before I stow this away for the winter, I'm going to pop it open, take a look at the impeller, make sure everything's good. I'll probably wash it off, especially now that I've had it in the wood chips. It's all gross. No one wants to look at that or smell it. So, especially if it's going to be stored in an indoor location, it's not like it's going to reek, but no one wants pond smell in their house. Am I right? Especially those who put it next to their nightstand. Okay, now that the shutdown is finished, last step is I'm going to come back through and I'm going to hide this exposed liner throughout here that could have been exposed throughout the year, or you might have gotten a little over aggressive with the power washer, stuff like that. But again, one of the points of this shutdown is to make this thing look nice. So I'm going to do the best I can to make it look as nice as I can. Okay, we are all done with the shutdown, all wrapped up. The only thing that I would add is, and that this system does not have, is if you have an autodoser or an ion gen, now's the time to pull that and just store that inside with the pump in a frost-free location. With the autodoser, temperatures below 40 degrees, it's just going to shut off and not work. The bacteria inside of it is a living organism, and it does freeze and die off. So because of that, there's no point in leaving it out for the winter to be in the elements. Might as well bring it inside. It'll prolong its livelihood. Same with the Ion Gen. You don't have any algae growing over the winter, and the water's not running, so there's no point in having it. Because of that, you might as well pull that as well, store that inside. It'll prolong the livelihood of it as well. Other than that, you're all done. You're all set. Your system looks like this. At the end of it, I would say you've done a good job. If you have any questions, comments, stuff like that, anything about your own system, you can go ahead and contact us. You can call us, email us, go to our website. There should be links and phone numbers and all that at the end of this video. But yeah, we are always open to questions and happy to answer whatever you've got for us.